Naruto 600, motherfucker. This is not gonna be a real long and extensive review because this was a good chapter, especially towards the end. But the whole beginning part of it was just like some old history type of shit. So I barely even took any pictures off of the web to even do this shit. So the chapter actually starts off though with both Guy and Kakashi is it you, Obito? Is it really you? And then Obito was like, you can call him by that name if you want. It really don't mean shit to me. It don't matter. You know, I can tell that as long as he completes his plan, who he is really is irrelevant. And then after that, it just cuts back to all the history between him and Kakashi and Rin. And I'm not gonna lie, when I read it, I kind of got disappointed because I'm like, we know that shit. That's almost like all those times when we have a flashback about Naruto's history and we see how everybody in the village just shunned him. We fucking know. We've probably been reading this shit for about fucking 10 years now. We know, alright? We know the fucking story. I don't need to be refreshed about Obito's story. Don't need to be. I don't need to be refreshed. As a matter of fact, none of the audience needs to be refreshed about Obito's backstory. Okay? We know what the fuck happened. We just got the shit last week. We just got his backstory last week. It wasn't any dialogue, but the visuals were enough. We don't need to see the shit twice. God damn it. And then Kakashi asks a very critical question. He's like, that time, all those years ago, did you survive? And then Naruto's like, who is this guy? And then Guy's like, he part of the Uchiha clan, he was a classmate of ours, but this motherfucker's supposed to be dead. He died in the last war. And then Kakashi's like, well, if you were able to survive, how come up until now you didn't? And then it trails off. And then Obito was like, well, whether I survived or not, it's not important, right? That shit don't matter. And for some reason, it got asterisks next to the word I. So I'm assuming by that it's saying whether Obito physically survived is irrelevant, but the person standing here before you is Obito. So I'm only assuming that he didn't walk away from that accident unscathed. So I think that's alluding to the fact that Zetsu DNA is inside of him or whatever, because that's what it seemed like to me anyway. Especially because of the asterisk next to the eye and him pulling off his limbs and all that type of shit. But then Obito says, if you want to know why I'm doing all this shit, I'll tell you. Obito states that he's doing all of this stuff because Kakashi, you let Rin die. At this point right now in the story, don't it seem like we, the fans, are writing Naruto? How many people actually said that shit? How many people predicted that fucking Toby was Obito? Probably everybody. How many people said that it's gonna have something to do with Rin dying? Probably everybody. You know, at this point right now, it seems like we are the ones that are writing Naruto. But with that being said, it's a bunch of different ways you can interpret Obito's statement. He's saying you let Rin die. You know, is he saying that Kakashi just failed to protect her, or did he actually allow her to die? And by actually allow her to die, I mean, did he stand there and do nothing while she was possibly injured and or dying? I don't know. You know what I mean? I would hope that I mean, again, Kakashi is one of my favorite characters. I would hope that he just wouldn't stand there and allow someone to die. But for the purposes of this storyline with Obito changing his views on the world, it seems like that might have to happen. Cause I just wouldn't imagine myself snapping though. Like, if they were getting jumped or some shit, you know what I mean? I don't even know. Like, if they were getting ambushed or some shit, and he was trying hard to protect her, and somebody like walked up behind her and just fucking stabbed her and walked away, then I don't even see how he can be mad. It's like, dude, I fought to protect her. But if he didn't do shit and she died, then yeah, I would be fucking livid. So it just seems like it's a whole lot more to it than just, oh yeah, she's dead. I mean, it's like Kakashi had to. I mean, it seems to me like he had to just allow it to happen. Like, it seems like he stood there and possibly did nothing while this girl was like fucking suffering. Maybe that's what it seemed like to me anyway. Aww. And then Kakashi looked kind of shocked and shit, and then even Guy looked shocked. So it almost seems like it's, you know, like they know what the fuck he's talking about. And then Kakashi like, aren't you just gonna blame me? And then Obito's like, well, it's pointless to blame this fucking useless reality. It's pointless because this shit gonna change anyway. And then after that, like, Naruto pretty much like, yeah, I'll hear your backstory later on. I understand what's going on between you motherfuckers later on, but right now, I'm about to rush your ass. And he fucking rushes Toby to fight him and shit. And Guy is like spurred on by that shit. He's like, yeah, Naruto's right, but Kakashi's still kind of like, fuck, man, I fucked up. And then Obito does this fucking fire move. And I mean, it's like the biggest fucking flame like ever. But apparently Naruto gets rid of it with the tails or some shit. He uses the tails from the from the Kyuubi, from Kurama, to get rid of it. I can't really see what's going on in this page. I'm trying to see, but I can't really see it at all. And we get the most epic freaking page ever. After the flames are being dispelled, you kind of see someone running towards them, and like, Jesus, Obito turns and kind of look, and someone says, "You seem to be having fun here," and it's Madara, and he says his name, Obito. You seem to be having fun here, and they stand next to each other, and that's the most boss shit ever. Because I mean, it was obvious that they were working together. They even said it. Madara even said, "Oh, you must be aware of our plan. Like, you must already know that we're working together." But to see them two motherfuckers standing next to each other, that shit is fucking off the fucking chain. You know, I'm hoping that means that some of the Kages are dead. You know, at least Onki, because he's old. You know what I mean? At least him. You know, maybe even Tsunade. I'm hoping at least one of them's dead because he's there. And then the caption says, and Madara joins the fight. The story is heading towards its final climax. So that means we're approaching the end. That means that we are approaching the end. Tell me what you guys think is going to happen next chapter, man. If you could, give me a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next Wednesday.